All right, it's time for yet another fabulous Sunday night news and nonsense. I was going to say tonight's show is brought to you by Manjaro, but somebody showed up without using their new Manjaro computer. What's up, Toss?
I forgot. I'm sorry, but Manjaro is manageable in my ThinkPad, so there.
Well, I'll tell you what. I actually put it on my mother's computer too, and I've got a 73-year-old little lady, using Manjaro as her daily driver now, and to be honest, she really can't tell the difference because, well, I mean, it just looks identical to what she had before. Um, but this week, I was looking at different options for her because, her version of Linux Lite was reaching its end of life, and I wanted something to have with a little bit more zing, and well, definitely has a little bit more zing to
That
it. So
that is very cool. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, and so yeah, and I've been watching your videos and that sort of thing, and I noticed that you're really liking it and that sort of thing. Do you have any questions about it?
We talked briefly about the installing HP Lip device manager for my printer, but I will try it again. And if for some reason I'm stuck, I'll let you know next week. So yeah.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, and I guess a lot of people were outraged by the red X. So it appears Microsoft removes the X from the Windows 10 upgrade pop-up. Isn't that magnificent
Oh
news?
boy.
So now your choices are yes or yes now.
Or a third choice is Manjaro. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But just think about it. Microsoft's drastic upgrade tactic pays off with a boost to Windows 10 share. Windows 10 in May recorded the largest increase in user share since August 2015, with first month after its launch last summer, data published Wednesday showed. The impressive increase came after Microsoft began what will likely be its last big push to put the free Windows 10 on consumers' PCs, a campaign that started mid-May and featured much derided trick to get users to approve the upgrade from Windows 7 and Windows 8.1. So,
you know, perhaps we should be grateful for Microsoft's flubs because let's face it, if they didn't have this issue and if they did not have the privacy issue, what would we be talking about?
absolutely. And well, the thing is, in this season, we still got to convince you to kick Windows to the curb anyway. So,
I'm trying.
but a number of us in the Cup of Linux community have been saying all along that Windows 10 is the best thing to ever happen to Linux.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Well, we've got some other stuff coming up, which is, it's certainly starting to look that way. So, yeah, what you got, Toss?
I got some random cool news. It looks like the U.S. Navy is making or testing an Iron Man, the movie Iron Man, an Iron Man type of helmet for diving, Spatry. They're calling it David. It's called the Diver's Augmented Vision Display. This is not nonsense. This is for real, and it's described as a high-resolution see-through head-up display that's embedded inside the diving helmet. I think that's cool. Yeah, awesome.
I am not surprised by that. That we're starting to see our soldiers getting some technology and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, interesting stuff. Okay, here's something that I saw this and I'm like, well, this is news and nonsense. So, but this also concerns Microsoft.
Surprise.
Hey, well, Microsoft's been making a lot of news. Microsoft continues campaign to shut down stupid software pirates. Microsoft this week filed another lawsuit in federal court accusing unidentified individuals with stealing its software by illegally activating more than 1,000 copies of Windows 7, Vista, and 8.
Only
And
1,000?
often Oh, with Office 2010 and 2013. Now, I don't know why they're doing this because, I mean, wouldn't all of those computers automatically get upgraded to Windows 10?
It seems that way, but maybe it won't work if it's a pirated version, right?
Well, it's Microsoft Cyber Forensics, say this 10 times fast. Cyber Forensics have identified over 1,000 product activations originating from this specific IP address. Okay, now it just stands to reason, though. I mean, if somebody, some of these hackers can be, using a
Yes.
can be routing their traffic through some poor little old lady's IP address, and some little 80-year-old lady's getting sent to court for activating 1,000 copies. Yeah. Funny stuff. What you got, Toss?
Some more random cool technology news. It appears, Patry, that Norway may be the first country to ban the sale of gas-powered cars. How cool is that?
That would be interesting. But what are there? I assume they're going to be selling electric cars then, right?
Yeah, it's pending legislation. I'm not sure how soon they will have this, but I'm assuming with the advancement of electric and hybrids, they are seriously considering this, and that's going to be very, very interesting if it actually passes legislation. So good for Norway, yeah.
It's funny that you're playing right into more of my nonsense news here, Toss, because we're still on the subject of cars, and Microsoft wants to power self-driving cars, not build them. Microsoft isn't interested in building its own self-driving car. Speaking at the Convergence conference in Hong Kong this week, Microsoft's Peggy Johnson revealed the company will continue to build software for cars rather than create vehicles. Let me tell you what, kids, if we're getting into self-driving cars, I want mine powered by Linux, not Microsoft. Sorry, it ain't happening.
So will this Microsoft car have any power windows?
Well, actually, it probably have telemetry, and Microsoft will have data on everywhere that you drove and all this stuff.
I think I'll pass on that one, yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Finally, on the real news stuff or the real serious news stuff.
Go ahead.
Facebook is a reminder from Facebook. If you use Facebook, you may want to remove your chat app and nudging it. They're telling users to nudge it towards its Messenger app. I use it occasionally in my Android phone, and it works quite well. So check out the Messenger app from Facebook.
All right. I remember you talking about wearable technology, and it appears new chips give Linux a hand in wearables. Aside from the Tizen-based Samsung Gear S2, a dozen or so Android Wear watches, Linux has been something of a no-show in the smartwatch market. Most lower-end watches skip the overhead of Linux in favor of simpler RTOS-based devices running on MCUs. Yet Linux got another boost into wearables this week when Qualcomm, whose Snapdragon chips fuel most of Android Wear watches, announced a Snapdragon Wear 1100 system on chip for lower-end smartwatches and wearables. So it looks like we're going to be seeing Linux powering more wearable technology in the near future.
Cool. I can't wait for that. And you mentioned the car thing. It looks like more and more cars will be going towards Linux, at least some of them anyway. So, yeah. Absolutely.
And it looks like Linux Mint 18 is on its way out the door. It could be launching next week. And if it does, I'm not sure if you noticed this, Toss, but I finally figured out a way to be able to bring back, looking at Linux distributions on my show. I'm not doing them as reviews per se. I'm doing them now as a usability experiment. And I have this little disclaimer that starts at the beginning of the video. You should check it out. It's pretty cool. But
I'll take a look.
I figured out a way to do that. So, because a number of people, want to get my opinion on some of this stuff. So once that comes out, we'll be sure to have a quick look at that.
All right. Well, I have nonsense. Are you ready?
Okay, well, before we go into the nonsense, Debbie and Wheezy and Jesse have some updates coming out. Yeah, so pretty much Debian's been updated, and yeah, you might as well go into the nonsense news because I got nonsense too.
Okay, here we go. This is actually, it's not really nonsense. It's kind of cool, but apparently the breathalyzer that people, that cops let you take when driving will be getting a companion in the future called a textilizer, which makes sense, Battery. This is a device that could check to see if a driver's phone was in use during the course prior to having a car accident. It's going to be a bill sponsored by New York Senator. This was actually last month. But you know what? Something like this, I think, would be an appropriate technology. What do you think?
Well, distracted driving is probably just as bad, if not worse, than driving drunk.
Yeah.
So that would make sense if they have a way that they can figure out whether or not somebody has been using technology. But the question remains, though: what if it's what if the driver's spouse is in the vehicle texting, or a passenger in the vehicle is texting, or something like that? That's kind of it's going to be kind of tough for that one.
I don't know how that's going to work. I'm assuming with a lot of these newer phones, you can lock your phone with your fingerprint, thumbprint, and maybe that's what they're going by. I'm really not sure, but I'm sure they'll find a way around it. But yeah.
Okay, here's some nonsense news for you. Microsoft's Smart Mirror can read your emotions. This is from the Huffington Post. Okay. Microsoft unveiled a smart mirror at a technology conference held in Singapore last month that allows users to view both their reflections and relevant information like time, weather, and traffic directions. Now, Toss, this just put a scary thought in my mind. Remember a few weeks ago we talked about the jerk shirt?
Please. Yeah,
And
go
I'm
ahead.
picturing these pictures being sent back to Microsoft
Yeah,
while
yeah.
Satya Nadella is wearing his jerk shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a
because we
pretty
know.
picture, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm picturing the spy technology that's in the mirrors now. But basically, reading people's emotions when maybe an ad or something like that is displaying, and they want to be able to do that. But yeah, that's kind of weird.
Welcome to the world of James Bond, Mr. Bond.
Absolutely. What you got?
Well, Spatry, in the UK, you can rent a very special taxi car. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's a Lamborghini. That's right. You can now hail a Lamborghini taxi in the UK, and the car goes 200 miles per hour. Of course, with the traffic being as bad it is, you'll get nowhere fast. Haha. Which is,
That's funny. You can hail a Lamborghini.
yeah, 200 miles an hour gets you nowhere fast in traffic. So, yeah.
It comes with multi-fuel injection, a 5-speed transmission, and no brakes.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like there have been improvements in wine. And gamers can now play Doom 2016 on their Linux PC, laptops, and that sort of thing. It appears that in Wine 1.11, there have been improvements to Direct 3D 11. So that's wonderful news. I wouldn't be surprised in the near future if we can pretty much run just about any Windows program on Linux with the way Wine has been progressing. So awesome stuff indeed.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It's been a while since we've done a crappy story, but
Here it comes.
this is real. This is the real nonsense news. I cannot make this up. But here in Ohio, we have Kroger's supermarket chains, and I shop there all the time. They are very friendly. However, apparently, an intoxicated person pulled down his pants, and pooped on one of these self-checkout grocery scanners.
What? Why would they do that?
I guess he was intoxicated and reeking of booze, but this gives to the new meaning that that piece of technology was a piece of, yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
I have one
Well, I
last
don't have
one.
anything else. You got
Okay,
anything
you
else,
might like
Josh?
this one. Okay, this is somewhat appropriate. A woman in Maine wearing a Stop Domestic Violence t-shirt was arrested. Do you know why? She was arrested for domestic violence. What else? Yeah,
Funny.
yeah. Apparently, she fired a gunshot in her bedroom during an argument with her husband, and I'm assuming because she thought he was having an affair. But yeah, and there's a picture of it dated, was it last month or month before? She's wearing the shirt "Stop Domestic Violence," and that's what she was arrested for. So very appropriate.
Take us out, Toss.
Thank you once again for joining us here on the Cup of Linux server every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Sunday Night News and Nonsense Report, the Sinner Report. And you can probably guess who is the saint and who is the sinner. Thanks, Battery, for joining again. Of course, everyone inside the listening room. And as usual, I will tell Spatry, say good night, Spatry.
Good night, Spatry. Now get off my mumble.
Ciao.